Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, girlfriend.
Hey, babe.
How you doing?
I'm good. You're a hot mess. I'm your ex-girlfriend.
My ex. You know what? You're right about that. She's my ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, with that being said, how long have we been married though?
We have been married a total of 19 years.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my
Can you
God.
believe that?
We're old.
Jeez. 19 years. Almost 20. It's going to be 20 years next year.
It's gonna be 20 next year. I'm excited. I was asking you the other day if you wanted us to do a 20th renewal of vows.
That's a
Something.
no.
Why are you such a party pooper?
I'm not a party pooper. I don't like parties.
I know exactly. Party pooper. It says it in the name.
We'll just travel like we always do. We'll find somewhere to go.
Ugh.
We'll celebrate our own way.
I guess.
Yeah. I
But
don't.
that's interesting because we got married young.
Very young.
I get not very, but young
23 is quite young.
for our culture and our community and our society. Yes,
Yes.
but not necessarily. I find out. Um, yeah, we started dating when we were 20. I remember throwing your 21st birthday
Yep.
party, surprise party for you. And then we got engaged at 22. We got married at 23.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
And it's been 19 years.
19 solid years.
Years. And
Uh,
I remember when we got married, a lot of our friends were still having fun.
we were
But
having fun too.
we were, but I mean, like, they were still single and, like, just chilling.
They
And
thought they were having fun.
And then when we had our first child, which was a few years later, I think about 3-4 years
27?
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, our friends were all still single. There were very
Yeah,
few
there
that
were
were,
few of 'em,
maybe
yeah.
one that was married at that time in our group of friends at that time. And we didn't ever really feel like we had the tools
Community tools.
to navigate
The
what
know-how.
it was, what marriage was really like and what
Yeah.
we needed. And so I guess that brings me to why this podcast, why this show, why did we
Ah.
decide to do this?
Do this. So for me, I ran away from this for a long time. I feel like God has always given us the green light.
Mm. Yeah.
I want to say at least over 5 years now we've had the green light from God to do this, because in one way or another we've affected our community,
Mm.
being in leadership in church and pouring into marriages and things like that, mentoring marriages, right? But I the drawback for me has always been the social media aspect.
Putting your life out there.
Yeah, seem like you have to put your life out there and not hold anything. And being the kind of people we are, we'll let things out, the way it is.
We're open book.
Yeah, but then again, you come to realize now that somebody's going to influence the world regardless,
Yeah.
right? So what part are we playing in that? I can decide that I want to be private and just do my thing, or I can decide that I want to go to the same platform that everybody else is going to and affect our community, right? In
Positively.
a positive way, and bring on um, the African American, culture. Not in the when I say African American, I mean those of us that are of African descent,
The
right?
Nigerian,
The Nigerian, the Ghanaians, and the Kenyans,
Yeah.
and all of that
the
stuff.
mix that we
Yeah,
are.
the mix that we are, that makes us unique and beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, how do we bring that and show that there is bliss in our marriages as well, right?
Yes.
So that's how we got here.
Yeah, and I think we've always known with every hurdle that we have
And there's been many.
leaped over. Yeah, there's been many that we didn't make it through to just keep it.
Exactly.
We do counsel marriages. We
Yeah.
counsel lots of marriages in private and even through the church.
Yeah, mediation. and
Yeah,
all of that.
we do all of that. We've always done that, even long before we even knew what we were doing.
Correct.
But we just never just we never went forward with putting it out there like
Right.
formally. And I think we decided finally that this is the year.
Yeah,
We just
this
were
is it.
like, this is it. Let's
This is
just
the
do
year.
it. Let's just leap,
Yeah.
jump, unsure.
There's a story to be told.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
along the way.
The
and-
voices
and-
we hear about marriage usually don't look like us,
Yeah,
don't sound like us.
don't. Yeah.
And the rate of divorce in our community is ridiculous.
It's shocking. It's really shocking.
And when you hear the reasons, you're like, that could have been avoided
Absolutely.
with just somebody telling you that you're not alone
Right.
and that that's not unique to you.
Not only that, and just giving you the tools to navigate these things as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, that's why we decided to do this. And so we started a marriage ministry.
yes.
What is that
Shout
called,
out.
my love?
Insync. Insync marriage is what we're calling it. Yeah.
SYNC.
Correct.
To be in sync.
to be
And the
in
premise
sync.
behind that is that, first of all, you need to be in sync with yourself.
Yep.
You got to know who you are. And then be in sync with your partner.
For your partner. Yeah. But not only that, there's a thought wheel to it, right?
Yes.
Being in
And
sync
the most important, being in sync
with
with
the Holy
God.
Spirit, with God.
With
yeah.
God. Yes. So that's pretty much the foundation of what we've realized. If every marriage had that,
Yeah.
the rest of it would actually be easier.
Absolutely. And not to say that there wouldn't be hurdles.
Oh, there'll
to
always
climb
be
up.
hurdles.
There's
Are you
always
kidding?
gonna
There's
be
probably going to be a
something.
hurdle for us tomorrow.
There's hurdles every day.
But
But it makes it easy.
you do the work to be in sync with yourself first,
Right.
then be in sync with your partner.
Your partner.
And
yeah.
that takes a lot of like communication, all these things that we're going to,
We're gonna
delve
talk about.
into.
Yeah.
And then always be in sync with God.
Absolutely.
Together individually. If you can get that right, you're good. So In Sync Marriage Ministry is our marriage ministry. So I want us to tell folks who we are. What's your name?
My name is Sanmi LA. And the LA, for those who are wondering, stands for Laja Akintayo. And you? What's your name?
My name is Tosin LA.
All right.
Yeah, I'm your wife.
She's my wife,
Yes.
the one who God has given me to take care of,
Yeah.
to love, and to hold.
Yes. So, babe, what do you do?
Ooh, wear many hats. I'm a pastor. I'm an associate pastor in one of the churches here in the DFW Metroplex. So a lot of mentorship, a lot of marriage ministry work. But in addition to that, I'm a research scientist in my 9 to 5. Also have a research science-based company also that I run as a co-owner in that business as well. What else?
Your father?
I'm a father,
You're a
father of
husband.
two beautiful
You're a
children.
chauffeur?
I'm a
You
chauffeur.
the kids?
I chauffeur everybody everywhere. But yeah,
Yeah. And I'm also a pastor. I'm a worship pastor, worship leader. I'm a nurse. I'm an ER nurse.
Yes.
I'm a shift worker, so I work nights.
Mm.
And that makes it unique what I do. And a mother, a sister, a friend, a wife, a daughter, because my parents are still alive and I'm active in
shout
their
out
lives.
to the parents.
Yeah, shout out to the parents. Your son also. Your parents are still
Yeah,
alive
yeah,
also.
both my parents
We're
as
blessed
well.
to have both our parents.
It's a huge blessing. We don't take it for granted.
Yes. And so that's what we do.
Right.
Since we're talking about parents, what is your family structure, or what was your family structure growing up? I think that tells a lot about who a person is.
Yeah. Mine's quite simple, really. Both parents and four boys. So I have 3 total brothers. I'm the second out of 4 boys. So yeah, middle child syndrome is real.
And y'all have a unique dynamic to how the 4 of you are spread out.
Yes. So the first 2 were 3 years apart, and then my parents took a break. I think they had to get their hustle together, and then came back 7 years later, and had another child after me, and then another one after him, 3 years after that. So that is the dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 boys, huh?
4 boys. You can imagine what that household was like.
Yeah, it still is.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
And what about yours?
Whoo, mine is a little atypical.
It's a good one.
Mine is unique. So my I'm the last. I'm the last of my dad and the last of my mom.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily from a polygamous family, but there's a,
What do you call it?
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
We should look up the word.
Yeah, I don't have step siblings. I have half siblings.
Explain.
So step would be if I had a stepmom who had a kid.
Right.
I'm assuming that wasn't my dad's or
Okay.
my mom's, or
Okay.
stepdad who had a kid that wasn't my dad or my mom's.
Okay.
So what I have is my dad had 4 older kids who are, by the way, old enough to be my parents.
Shout out to all of the older siblings. The first child in Tosin's family
Is about the same
actually
age
a
as
year
my father-in-law.
younger than my dad.
Yeah, my dad is old. And then my dad married again. Oh, his first wife died. So
Okay.
that's why I didn't have a stepmom like that.
Okay.
His first wife died. He married again. It didn't work out. He had a son. So there's 5. And then he married my mom,
Correct.
to which she had her 4 kids. I have 2 older biological brothers and an older biological sister. And I don't want to forget, my mom has a daughter before
Right, before
marrying
meeting your
my
dad.
dad.
Correct.
So that's what makes it 10 when you add everybody up.
Mm.
And I'm number 10
Yeah.
from all of that. So yes, a little last born syndrome is my own. I'm spoiled
Yep.
to the
Yep.
core.
Awesome.
Yes, but yeah, the dynamics now is a little unique because I'm actually the one who's spends a lot of time taking care of my parents
Yeah.
because they live in the same town as I do, and everybody else is scattered all over the world. So yeah. That's the structure of.
That is the structure.
Yeah. Interesting enough, we kept our family structure simple.
Yes.
What is that
Yes.
like, babe? What do we have?
Very simple. I think when we met, we wanted 3 kids initially.
We did. I don't know what I was
and then
thinking.
we decided after having our first child, we were going to do one more, and that's it. It's a wrap.
I don't even know how we did the second one because the first one was so hard, y'all. Shout out to the moms, man. If you experienced trauma with your first pregnancy, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk about it because I was traumatized with my first one. I didn't think I was going to go a second
The
time.
second one, yeah.
But I think another thing is being Nigerian or being African. We talked about it and we were like, we don't want I know this was childish, but we're like, I don't want the world to think that I couldn't have another kid or that I just was barren
That
or
was your
whatever.
thing, yeah.
That was my thing. That was my
Yeah.
thought. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. We're going to go again.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be different. It wasn't.
I think it was worse than the first.
Goddamn. Pardon, can I say that?
It was worse than the first.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went a second time. And as soon as we found out it was a girl, I was like, hallelujah.
Yeah, she was like, you know what? Tie the tubes.
We're done.
Chop it up.
We're done.
She actually made me videotape the process of her tubes being tied.
Because
and
I wanted to
being
make sure
burnt.
they did it.
Yeah.
I was going to sue somebody if they
So
didn't.
shout out to the physician Keely Thomas from back in the days, right?
Yeah.
Is that a name? I think so.
I don't think you can put her name on there.
Hey. Shout out to her. She did a great job, and she
Oh my
allowed me
God.
videotape it too.
Yeah. Anyways, that's we have a son who's 15.
Yes.
We're raising teenagers. We're raising teenagers right now, so pray for us whenever you think about us.
Yep.
We have a son who's 15 and a daughter who's 13 going on 14. They're 21 months apart. And so the dynamics of those two is interesting for us.
Very interesting.
You have an older brother who's 3 years older than you, and I have an older sister who's 2 years older than me. And so what we grew up with, the structure of what we grew up with is a little different.
Yeah.
Our kids have the same friends.
Right.
So sometimes they act like they're twins, but they really are not.
They're not.
And I
Yeah.
think my daughter forgets that her brother's older than her. And so we spend a lot of times reminding her, that's
Yeah.
your older brother. And if I gave him permission, he probably would whoop you. No,
except
but we're
except he
raising.
doesn't have the permission to
No,
do
we're
so.
raising a gentleman.
Yeah.
So we're trying to teach them how to show respect to each other still, and that's something that we're still navigating. That is
But they
different.
love each other very
They
much.
do. They do. When
Yeah.
they
They
do,
have their moments.
whew, when they're in
They
love,
have their
don't get in
moments.
between them. You're
Yeah.
gonna be the bad guy. So yeah, that's our family structure. Here's a question, babe. How did we meet? Where did we meet? Is what it.
Where did we meet?
Mhm. Do you
Uh,
remember?
yeah, we met in Grand Prairie,
Yeah,
Grand Prairie,
Grand Prairie is a
Texas.
whole town, babe. Where did we meet?
Yeah, it was
Where did we meet?
it was a picnic. It was
Yeah.
a picnic.
It was a picnic party.
A friend was supposed to have a birthday party. I think it was like a 20th birthday party or something like
It was
that.
your friend, actually.
Yeah, a friend that I went to school with,
Yeah.
that I was in college with, was having a party. Something had happened, and whole thing got canceled. So she decided to just host a few people, just meet up at the park or something like that. And it was gonna be music and all of that stuff. And then myself and a bunch of my friends showed up, and then you showed up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
How'd you get there?
Because I didn't even know the girl, right?
Yeah, tell them how you got there.
It was interesting because your friend was mutual friends with my friend.
Correct.
And my friend and your friend are birthday mates.
Right.
And they were trying to throw this birthday party together.
Correct.
And so my friend had asked me if I would come. And funny enough, I was like, and it was funny because she was living in my house at that time. And so she was like, would you come for the party? And I'm like, where is it? She said, Grand Prairie. I've never been to Grand Prairie. I don't know where that is on the map. Not interested.
For
So I was-
those who don't know, Tosin at the time lived in Garland.
in Garland.
Garland to Grand Prairie must have been
At that time was
45
almost
minutes.
closer to an hour because we only had one way to go, like
That's
I-20.
true. Yep. Yep.
And I was like, I'm sorry. I could drive, but not like, I didn't do those kinds of drives.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, no, thank you. And I'm so sorry. I love you, but I won't be able to make it. It's too far. And so I wasn't going to go. But then another friend of mine, who was a guy,
Right.
had reached out and was like, oh, there's this party. You want to come? And I'm like,
Who
where?
also
He's-
happens to be a friend of mine.
Yes. So that's where the mutual. So this was now when
Yeah.
we had a mutual friend.
There you go.
And he's like, do you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, no. And the day he was talking to me, apparently you were with him.
I was in the car with him. I was driving, and he was with me, sitting next to me, at
And
the
trying to
passenger
convince
seat.
me to come.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were. I just heard him on the phone talking to these girl. I knew it was a female. You
Yeah.
know how guys talk to females. And he just kept saying, "Man, show up. You'd be cool. It'd be nice." And
Yeah, and
all
I'm
that.
giving all the excuses because he's my
Yeah.
really good friend. So I'm like, I don't know what to wear. He's like, it does, just wear anything. You always look good. I'm like, I don't know I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Oh, no, just try. He's just like, push.
Yeah.
And then I hear in the background, this voice says, I beg, leave the girl, Joe. If she doesn't want to go, is it by force? And I'm like, who's that?
Because I was sitting there listening to my homie talking to someone that I didn't know. He must have spent a good 15, 20 minutes just back and forth. After a while, like, yo,
No, by force.
leave the girl alone. If she don't want to come, she don't want to come. Like, forget about it. And then you
I
had a
responded,
reaction.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
heard you. And I was like, who's that? And he was like, my friend. I said, tell your friend of mine his business. And because of what he said, I'm actually going to come.
But look at
I
God.
was like, I'm going to come. And then he's like, oh, yay. Of course, I
Showed up.
showed up. And when I got there, maybe we should make this a whole episode on its own.
Should we?
It's a long story.
It is a long story. It is a long story.
Yeah, I think we're going to make this.
Actually, let us know in the comment section if you want the full version
Full
of
version.
how we met.
How we really met.
Otherwise, it's going to get long.
It's gonna get
Yeah,
long.
I think we can make that a whole thing by itself.
Yes,
All
I
right?
think so. All right. So if you want to send us questions, you want to share your story, you want to even honestly, if you want to come on this podcast,
Yeah.
send us an email at insyncmarriage@gmail.com.
insyncmarriage@gmail.com. And also, we do a lot of appearances where we go to churches and marriage
Speaking
conferences,
engagements,
speaking
yes,
engagement. So if you'd like to reach out to us, if you'd like to share a story, if you'd like to be featured on a podcast,
Oh, you want us to come to your church
yeah, that too.
for your event?
Yep. insyncmarriage@gmail.com.
Yes. Yes. And we'll be looking in the comment section for those of you who want to hear our story. So if you want to hear our story, you want to know how
Let,
we met,
let us know.
yes, let us know also.
Awesome.
Okay. So I think this concludes this episode. We wanted to make sure you guys knew who we were. And I
More to
think you
come.
do.
More
There'll
to
be more
come.
to come. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.